Hi, everybody. Queen Crystal King in the building. These are just my thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. One of the thoughts is, why would you bring something so precious to YouTube, to the beef sector at that? I don't know what your reasoning was behind it, but I'm guessing that you were looking for support. Anything that happened after that, you had no control over. But I will tell you that bringing it to YouTube takes the focus off of this young man who was taken from this world way too soon in such a horrific way. It does not get the acknowledgement that it deserves because there's so much focus on who lied, what you lied about, what you exaggerated about, and the point was missed. I'm a mother of 2 black sons. Both of my sons have godmothers. But they know that when it comes to making that type of announcement, that goes through me first. And I truly believe that you did not have the right to do that. But I can also understand that you were just trying to say how you felt and have some support with what you're going through. But what you're going through does not take precedence to what has happened. Another thing I was thinking about was your motives for having that family member on live, speaking with you, uninhibited, vulnerable, stressed, and still grieving, was very tacky. And it came off like you just wanted to clear your name and not reach out to this family member that no longer has their family with them because of a senseless killing. You asked for details. When a person asks for details, it seems like they're looking for a verbal receipt. And it came off like you did that for a verbal receipt. If you didn't, you didn't. But that's the way it came off. I want you to understand why people are feeling the way they're feeling. Well, some people. And you didn't let her know that she was live on YouTube until the very end of the conversation, which is illegal. But again, it came off like you just wanted a verbal receipt. And that this was to prove to YouTube your affiliation with the family. Another thing I'm thinking about is, you said this child was your godparent. Not godparent. You said that this child was your godchild. You also said that he asked you to. But he's not here to defend that. The family is saying they don't know who you are. You're saying that the young man told you that his mother was no longer living. His mother is living. His father wasn't in his life since he was a small child, and you were. But the father is in his life. All of this comes up for questioning and scrutiny because you brought it to YouTube. Had you talked with someone not affiliated with social media and just got your feelings out, none of this would be happening. Hindsight is always 20/20, and I understand that. But I don't think you meant for this to happen this way. But I don't believe that you don't know how the game goes. You know how it goes over here. Everything is open for scrutiny, investigation, doxing, all those type of things. I have 2 godmothers. And I picked them as an adult. They didn't know my mother because my father is no longer living. They didn't know my mother until I introduced them. But I picked them as an adult. Right now I'm talking about possibilities. It's a possibility that this young man loved you and cared for you, and you loved him and cared for him. He may have said to you that he would like for you to be his godparent. He may have. But because he's not here to defend himself, and the parents and the family don't know you, this puts you up again for scrutiny, doxing, and everything like that. You come off as a liar, and I understand why. But every godchild does not have godparents that went through the actual ceremony with the clergyman and the holy water. Everyone didn't do that. But when you make a commitment to a child or an adult, in my case, I was an adult, and we have that understanding and that bond, that's all that matters. I potty trained both of my godchildren. I promised them that I would never, ever take on another godchild in life. And I meant that. Being a godparent, some people think it's all about a monetary thing. If my mom and dad can't get it for me, then I'll go to my godmother or I'll go to my godfather and they'll do it for me. It's not about that. I know the spiritual belief of my godchildren's parent. I've been friends with my godchildren's parent for multiple years. And I know that if they were not here on this earth anymore, God forbid, if that godchild was to come to me and ask me a question, because I know their parent so well, I would know what to pass on to them. There's a spiritual obligation when it comes to being a godparent that a lot of people don't talk about. But I'm saying that some people put godparent in front of it, where it's just a person that you admire, you love, and you respect. It doesn't always deserve a title. So, I am a godparent. I made a commitment to them, and when my godchildren were old enough to understand, I told them I would never ever get another godchild in life. I have 2, a boy and a girl, and you have me. Bama, I'm trying to understand why you put 20 on 10. If you're saying you raised this child from 2 years old, and they're saying you've only known the child for 2 months, that's a very big difference. The family is saying, please don't speak for us. Please take the video down. You haven't done that. Sweetie, if you love this young man, that's a beautiful thing. You can never have too much love when it comes to this world. But as for looking for some type of receipt or proof or clout or anything like that, when it comes to this situation, throw your hands up. Just throw your hands up. Let it go. Take the video down, in my opinion. The understanding that you had with the young man, you keep that. You keep that in your heart. You don't need to take it any further. It will just further infuriate the family, and there's too much proof that you committed a crime of recording that family member without her consent. She still didn't consent when you said you're on live. She still didn't consent. You asked her what did she want to say to the people. She had been talking to the people all along. And there's proof of that. People are going to drag, because that's what they do here. They're going to dox. They're going to ask questions. And then some people just want to keep the fuel on the fire because they see it getting a little low. But there are also content creators who are actually reaching out to the family and being there, and they're not doing it for any monetary gain. Some people do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And to those content creators, I thank you. But honey, let this go. Just let it go. You apologize to the family and anyone else that was hurt or harmed or emotionally affected by what you said or done. Let that be it. Don't take it any further. There's no need to. Again, everybody who's a godparent did not go through the ceremony, so don't lie about that. That's a lie. Everyone who's married didn't have a wedding that cost over $200,000. People who are judging and putting their opinions on stuff, they're probably in worse situations than you. So take this situation for what it's worth and just let it go. The biggest apology would be, I should have never brought this to YouTube. I was not that child's mother. That's the biggest problem I have with it. Anything that happens after that is because it was brought to YouTube. I believe that you were affected by what happened to this young man. I do. I believe that. But my outrage as a mother would be for someone to take the choice from me and bring it on social media, this section of social media, without checking with me or other members of the family. Because how could you have checked with the mother if you said that the young man said that she wasn't here anymore? But I still would have tried to reach out to them before I put their business out like that. So, what's done is done. We can still seek justice for this young man. Black lives do matter. But if we, as black people, don't value each other's lives, how can we expect anyone else to value our lives? You did wrong in this situation, Bama. You did. But I don't believe that that's what you started out to do. I don't. But it doesn't change the fact that all this has blown up. It blew up. Allow the family to make their plans. Do what they need to do. Whatever conversation you and that young man had, keep it in your heart. No one can take that from you. Just keep that memory in your heart. I don't want you to feel like you still have to prove something to someone because you don't. What I would have been looking for as a family member of this young man is that you took responsibility for putting their business out on YouTube. Because that's where it started. If somebody is dragging you as a result of this, you can take it. You can handle it. Because you drag people. And when you drag people, you believe that what you're dragging them for is the truth. They believe what they're dragging you for is the truth. Just stop. Don't take it any further. There's no need. No need at all. People's mind has been made up. And you've been tried in a court of public opinion. But at this point right now, the best thing for you to do is to back up. Stop. Allow the family to do what they're doing. I don't know how I felt. I don't know how I feel about all of the other attention that this story has gotten. But I do know that I heard with my own two ears that there's someone wishing that the family would even be on the show. But yet they're criticizing you. I think that's the ultimate disrespect. This child hasn't even been laid to rest yet, and you're talking about how they could drag you on the show. Pick a struggle. Either you're outraged by a lie, or you're trying to add them to the show. One or the other. So, that's what I wanted to say. My mother did not know who my godparent was until I introduced them because I did it as an adult. You're saying that this child, based on how you treated him, felt that way about you and you had that understanding. He was an adult. And maybe his family does not know you. They don't know you. But because you brought it to YouTube, it cheapened it. It really did cheapen it. Thank you guys so much for listening. There was more I wanted to say on this, but I just don't think it's necessary. Don't put 20 on 10. Apologize to the family and anyone you may have harmed by bringing this to YouTube. Continue to pray for the family's strength and endurance so they can do what they need to do to seek justice for this young man. And just take yourself out of the picture. Love that child enough, like you say you loved him. Love him enough to take yourself out of the picture. Because now it's just about Bama lied and we're going to drag her. Just take yourself out of the picture. You have supporters that are standing by you. So go on with what you're doing on YouTube. But me, myself, I would not answer not another question about this young man, my relationship to him, or anything like that. Because there's a lot of what you said that was not believable. Not believable at all. But I can believe that as a friend of your son's, that this young man did have an attachment to you. I'll give you that respect. But as for anything else, let it go. Please. Just let it go. Thank you guys for listening. Love, peace, and chicken grease.